Break out those stopwatches. This episode of the Cardinal Report is all track and field. Head coach Carrie Cleo and her squad will hop on first, and then head coach Frank Grammaroso and the men's team will follow. Time to watch for fun and personal bests. It's the Cardinal Report at NCTV 17.
The presenting sponsor for the Cardinal Report is Athletico, the preferred provider of physical therapy and athletic training for North Central College.
Before we sit down with Coach Cleo, let's get a quick update on the women's season. With the NCAA Division III indoor track and field meet being held inside Res Rec come early March, the women's team looked to replace All-Americans Madison Renfro and Megan Costanzo. Courtney Meyer looks to vault her way to the national stage. Kayla Etherton returns as a national contender in the throws, while the track portion seeks new talent to emerge in both short and long distances. Hey, coach of the women's track and field team, Carrie Cleo, is in the building. And coach, welcome. How's the early season going for you guys?
So far, so good. We've had some sickness and a couple injuries, but we're hoping this week we'll have almost everybody going. We have a couple we still have to get fully in the mix. A couple will get their feet wet this week for the first meet that they've had for this season, but hopefully from here on out, we'll have everybody.
Now, you guys graduated a bunch of seniors, a bunch of really high-performing seniors. Yeah. How's the team kind of adjusting to that, adjusting to new roles, per se?
Right. And that's always something we talk about well in advance of people graduating, even when they're there, to be able to, for the rest of the returners to understand how they need to step up in their role over time. And it's always learning from the upperclassmen and those that are strong student athletes. Really, we've got a great group of captains that are very willing to lead, a very cohesive group. And we have a really neat group of freshmen that are very competitive, want to do really well, so they're jumping right in.
What is leadership like in track and field? Because it's not, there is a team aspect of it, but it's not necessarily the rah-rah team aspect. So what is that leadership role like?
Well, a few things. Our captains that we have are really chosen off of leadership abilities and able to communicate among different event groups and really look at the bigger picture as we look at lineups and personalities as far as big sister, little sister, things like that. But a lot of it comes just from people that lead by example, not always performance outcome, but by day in and day out example. Obviously, the performance does help in the long run as well, but because you can see all the pieces fit together. But it is more about just those leadership qualities that they're able to communicate well, be able to motivate within their groups, but also across the board.
Now I want to talk about Kayla Etherton in particular because at the Cardinal opener, she set her own personal best, which happens to also be the school's best in the weight throw. Nice to be returning her.
Oh, definitely. She's worked really hard. I mean, she's also in band, so then that's not even her major. So she's really balanced quite a schedule over the last 3.5 years to get to where she is. She still has more to go. I looked at a video of her right before I came here, actually, with my throws coach, and she has about 3 feet in the ring. If she would, be able to be a little more aggressive on the back end, she's going to have some really big throws. But she is nationally ranked right now. But her work ethic over 4 years and balance, as well as working on campus and band, she's just a great leader for the women to have.
Who else should we be looking out for? Because of the amount of talent that left leaves a lot of vacant spots for you guys. Yeah,
a few of the women that come directly to mind, Kayla definitely is one. She's nationally ranked. Courtney Meyer, one of our pole vaulters, is nationally ranked. Sadie Gant is nationally ranked in the 60. Right now, Victoria Capaziello is also nationally ranked in the 800. And we have a few others that are looking to as well. So those are the ones that have, are currently on the list in different event areas. And that's the whole goal, is that it's not, we always look at having representation in different areas, not just one.
You said the motivation to get to nationals. How excited are you to be able to host them and be able to showcase North Central and Res Rec?
Oh, I love it. It's great. I mean, when we hosted it in 2013, there's tons of electricity, tons of energy. There are about 3,000 spectators in there, and it's just crazy fun. And for our women, whether they're at nationals competing or they're there to watch or volunteer, I'm like, you really have to get there and watch if you're not in the meet, because you'll never see something like it, and it helps motivate you to get to the next step.
Yeah, it was a great atmosphere last time. I can imagine it will be again. Before I let you go, I want to get your opinion on 3 particular events. Real quick, we're going to check the tape.
This Cardinal Report segment is sponsored by M&M Rentals.
So the first one I want to get to, you mentioned Courtney Meyer. Here she is in the pole vault. This is last year, so she's obviously made strides going into this year as well.
Yeah, with Courtney, she has great runway speed, which is a little difficult to see in the video. She has a great plant. She's usually around 9.5, on her approach. And this is a really great over the bar as well. Sometimes she doesn't turn all the way, so it's nice to see this. But these are the things that she does right in that vault warrants her having that opportunity to be able to be a national qualifier.
Next thing I want to get to is the start of a race, and it doesn't have to be particularly the mile, which it is in this case with Emily Trenton, Helen Mayer, but how important is it to get off the gun and make sure you establish yourself early in the race?
Right. Typically, when you look at the 800 and the mile, especially, it is important to get a good position. And the 800, to get right up there, you can see Helen had to kind of brace herself because people are cutting in a little bit. But the biggest thing is being connected to the right group, understanding who is in the race with you, so you know that you're in the right place when you have to make your real moves, that you don't have to waste it catching up.
The last thing I want to get to is Kayla in the shot put. Maybe not this particular throw, but what kind of strides has she made over her 4 years that has allowed her to get to this point?
Yeah, she actually had a really good throw last week when we were at Whitewater. She had her best of the season for sure. This one she doesn't block quite as well. Usually the legs mean a lot in really having a good block, and she's really improved on that. One of the things that our throws coach has been working on is how many warm-up throws you get versus competitive throws.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you see throwers throwing really well in warm-ups, and then they say your name and it changes, and all of a sudden either you tend to hesitate a little bit, or you've maybe used some of your better throws early. So this past week, I know with Kayla, he actually didn't let her do warm-up throws in the ring.
Interesting.
And she threw her best shot at least this year, if not for longer. Yeah, it was pretty cool.
That's
So,
awesome. Well, good luck moving forward.
Thank
We're
you.
looking forward to hosting nationals. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Thank you. It'll be
Thanks
great.
for stopping by.
Thanks for having us.
A couple of the track and field athletes hop on set next. We'll be right back on the Cardinal Report. Sprinter Sade Gant and thrower Kayla Etherton are on set. Thanks, guys, for joining us today and coming over from North Central. Sade, I want to start with you. 5 weeks away from nationals. How are you feeling as the season has progressed to this point?
I feel good, actually. I prepared a lot during the off season, so a lot through the summer, through the fall, really making sure I'm going to class on time, I'm eating right, sleeping right. So a lot of those things are really paying off now.
60-meter dash, 200-meter run. How do you train for those type of events?
It's a lot of speed work, but with fall training, it was a lot of conditioning based. So being able to hold, not only just being fast, quick, and explosive, I had to be able to hold it. So combining the two of being explosive with being able to hold it as well.
So not just being able to run the 200, but maybe running the 400 so that when you get into a 200, you're good all the way
I wouldn't
through.
go that high, but maybe 300s. 300s.
See, I couldn't even go 50, so it's
Same.
yeah. Kayla, let's go to you because you just set a personal record, which also happens to be the school record in the weight throw. Congratulations
Thank
on
you.
that. And how nice is it knowing that you continually improve year in and year out?
Oh, it's really nice actually, just to know that I can still get better.
Yeah.
Because I'm just trying to keep progressing every year, and I finally broke my shot put PR, which has been a year and a half coming. So it's really nice to get back into it and know that I'm still progressive and increasing on the nationals list and stuff like that.
Speaking of, last year you went to outdoor nationals,
Yes.
and I'm sure that experience now that you're into this season, you can look back and say that has prepared me better.
Oh, definitely, yeah. It was something so new to me, so it was nerve-wracking. I was nervous the whole time. So it's nice to that I have it under the belt, and so I won't be nervous coming into the next two, hopefully.
Now you guys are both seniors.
Yes.
Yep.
Sade, you guys are both captains actually, is what Coach was telling me. Coach was also telling me that you have incredible starts off the block. That
Yep.
was the one thing that she was commenting on. And how have you been able to do that over the years?
It takes a lot of practice, a lot of research on my own, watching my teammates. Madison Renfro, who graduated this past season, she has a really good start. So really constantly watching her and then practicing it. So they just really make sure they just practice. For the 60, the start can make or break your race.
So what are the expectations for you guys this year? as far as the team goes? Individually, obviously, you have your own personal goals. You want to, break records. But have you talked as a team about what you want to accomplish?
Yeah, we're trying to probably place high in conference, obviously. We always try to do that every year.
Yeah.
So place in first or second place, usually. So.
Yeah, team cohesion, work together, cheer each other on.
Yeah.
Really just be there for each other. And then always winning is always at the top. So. But making sure we set ourselves up so we're able to win. So taking practice seriously, going to practice on time, making sure we're holding it down in the classroom, things like that. So.
Last thing I want to get to, we will get to the quick hits in a moment, but Nationals are here in Naperville at North Central this year. Yeah. And by your reactions, I can tell you're excited about this. What's the excitement level around the team right now?
Yeah, I think everyone collectively is excited.
Yeah, really excited. Just to be there and see it happening. It's such a big event. It's it's awesome.
You were here in 2013.
Yes.
Were you both in 2013?
I was not. I had graduated high school that year.
Okay.
Just a little bit older than everyone.
Yeah.
All right, you guys ready for the quick hits?
Of course.
Three interesting questions. First one will be, and we'll go to Sade on this one. Favorite subject back in high school?
Math.
Math. What about math? Which area? Any particular?
Equations.
Equations.
Yeah.
Interesting. Those were always a trouble area.
Yeah. I love it. Just, I don't know, math, equations. Go for it. I got it.
Kayla?
That's ironic. I'm actually math also.
Really?
But I liked algebra. I like long division. I just like being able to break it all down. So.
Got a couple of Smarties on the couch. Awesome. If you could eat only one food for the rest of your life, what would it be? We'll go with Kayla on this one.
Cheese.
Cheese.
Oh, I love cheese.
Could you survive on cheese?
I would have to.
I don't think so,
It
but
would happen.
cheese?
It is what it is. So.
I don't feel like my answer's not that much better. Potatoes, though.
I feel like potatoes, you'd be able to sustain it. But yeah, there you go. You have a baked
come
potato.
Together and make cheesy potatoes all the time.
Yep.
The last one would be, what would your alias name be? If you had to go on the run in a spy thriller movie, what would your name be?
So my name would be Atis.
Because?
It's not A backwards.
That's great.
Kayla?
Mine would be Elka. It's German. That was my in high school when we were in German class, we'd have names.
Yeah.
So that was my name throughout high school for all 4 years. So.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, good luck the rest of the season and have fun hosting Nationals.
Thank you.
Thanks for stopping by, guys.
Yeah.
All right, coming up next, we have the men's team joining the set. We'll be right back on the Cardinal Report. Shot clock winding down. Late in the game, Cardinals wanting to put the game away. Matt Capoletti to the rescue. The freshman calmly stepping back and draining the three-pointer from straight away, putting the Cardinals up 11 and sealing the deal. Also sealing this week's play of the game. Over to Capoletti. 3 seconds left. Capoletti pull up for three. Coach Grammaroso is waiting in the wing. Let's recap the season. Coming off the national championship in cross country, the men's team is looking forward to seeing Luke Winder jump to new heights with 4 titles already under his belt. Adam Poklop is surging in the high jump, while Zach Plank, Ethan Adelfinger and company look to translate the fall success into winter hardware. Finally, in the short races, the Cardinals are looking for young talent to emerge in the coming weeks. Coach Frank Grammaroso is my first guest, and Coach, welcome to the show. And first things first, let's dip back into the past, and congratulations on the cross-country national title. That's, another great season.
Yeah, it was a fabulous season. I wish Coach Karras was here to talk a little bit about it, but certainly later in the show you'll have Zach, and we're hoping to springboard the track season indoor and out after cross-country. It was just a fabulous year.
How many titles have you been a part of now?
I've been here for 11 cross-country titles out of 17, and then all 10 track and field titles, 4 indoor and 6 outdoor.
21 in a little over 3 decades.
Yeah.
It's pretty incredible. Do you look back at that, or is it not at that point where you're looking back, you're just kind of still going?
Every now and then, it's always a new team, It's another national championship, but it's a new group of guys. So, but, you always think about your first one, and we had, Jim Van Oneggen was a sprinter. He's the head coach at Oklahoma, and, sometimes I see that picture with John Cato and Sean Welty and 4x4 and Hurdler, and, that was our first one in 1989, so that was special, too.
Now, you mentioned a moment ago springboarding cross country, their success into now track and field. Do you ever feel like, since you've done so many now, that if you find success in the fall, that it kind of carries over into the indoor season?
Yeah, sure it does, but we want to take a long-range approach. So indoors gets difficult to balance our high-level athlete and, springboarding then to outdoors. So it's a delicate balance, and certainly, with no qualifying standards nowadays, every Monday you look at the list and see where you're at, and it kind of promotes a chasing time philosophy, which both Coach Carius and I don't necessarily agree with, but it's reality, and that's what it is. So, but it is great to have our 5 cross-country All-Americans, being ready and trying to do things both indoors and then leaving enough in the tank for the outdoor season in May. We're 4 months away from outdoor nationals.
Wow, that's pretty crazy. Now, how have you felt in the early part of this year so far, knowing that you guys are still trying to build?
Well, we had a great meet, the first Cardinal opener, and to see everybody in a real track meet was fun. We took a skeleton crew to Grand Valley State to get our feet wet, and then had the home meet for everybody, and it was fabulous. So I backed out of the big meet, the Invitational at Whitewater. We've had some people under the weather a little bit, and to go all the way there on a Friday and miss classes and get home at 2 o'clock in the morning, it was a great decision that our coaching staff made, and we had an extra interval training, extra technique day, and it was great. The only competitor was Luke going to the Indiana Relays to try to iron out things he needs to do for the rest of the season.
Now, something I noticed at the Cardinal opener, it seems like the team is really well balanced. You have people in certain areas that maybe you didn't last year or the year before that seem to be emerging. Is that necessarily the case?
In some areas, but we're still a little weak in the throws and long jump. But we have a freshman that's making some strides in both the hurdles and the long jump. So we got to piece it together. It's kind of hard to get everything going, but we're certainly looking at some bright spots and fill some holes, especially in the short sprints. And in the high jump, Adam Poklop's coming alive again. He had a struggle a little bit last year, but he's doing a fabulous job. We have a new high jump coach, Ken Hellberg, an alum who has 2 state championships from Wheaton Warrenville South and a lot of state trophies. So he's too young to retire. So we got him retired from teaching, but certainly helping us in our program.
Well, it's showing off with Adam, too. But I want to talk about some of the stalwarts in your lineup, and we have 2 of them on that are going to be on in a moment. Luke Winder set the facility record inside Res Rec, and, I mean, is there a roof? Is there a roof that he can hit at some point?
Well, you have to talk to him about that, but certainly he's making a lot of progress, getting adjusted to 5-meter poles, higher grips, and getting the timing down. It's a lot of aspects go into sprinting down the runway with a pole in your hand.
Yeah.
So, but he's making great progress, and so are a lot of other events. We have the 4x4 back. Zion Mason's back in the hurdles. Struggled a little bit with a hamstring strain, but he's coming along, and we're a good group of. I don't want to say they're young anymore, but we still have some years out of a lot of different athletes.
Last group I want to get to is the distance guys, because obviously coming off across country, but they add a guy in Nolan McKenna that has emerged in the early part of the indoor season and has captured runner of the week twice.
Yes, he was a transfer. I think he got his feet wet in cross country, trying to get adjusted to a new program, and I think finished the season maybe our 12th or 14th runner. I can't remember, but he's made a big jump into indoors. Everybody kind of says he's more of a track runner, and certainly he's proving it. And he's a little under the weather this week. I don't think he's gotten any training in, and we'll see if he's going to compete this weekend or not. But certainly we're looking ahead to try to see where we're at in a distance medley. I know the Chicagoland Championships next week, trying to go for a 3K for some of the distance runners, and conference, 5K, and try to piece it all together and see where it shakes out, keeping in mind that May is a long way off.
Yeah. Well, Coach, good luck with the rest of the indoor season. We'll talk to you again soon, and best of luck hosting.
Great. Thanks for having me.
Appreciate it, Coach. Zach Plank and Luke Winder join me on set. We'll be right back on the Cardinal Report. One is a 4-time national champion. The other just recently anchored the men's 17th national championship in cross country. Luke Winder and Zach Plank is on set. And Zach, I want to start with you. Congratulations on nationals, just as like I congratulated Coach. Congratulations, great fall season, huh?
Yeah, it was a great time. I mean, it was incredible. It's something that, you know, you read about in the books, in the history books of North Central, you know, the teams from the 80s and the 90s and the guys that started it all. And I think it was just another round for this team, another round to get into the books. And, you know, we all came from last year's fall and, you know, in 5th place, and then getting just nicked out in indoor conference and outdoor conference too. And, you know, that really sat with a lot of us. And I know that sat for me over the summer, and that's why I trained as hard as I did. And I'm sure that's why everybody else did too. And we came back and we had this collective goal that we knew we weren't going to lose like that ever again.
Yeah.
So coming together like that as a team that's more than just 40 guys, it's 40 brothers all united for one goal. I think that was what really set us apart.
I know you guys had that break, but are the distance guys feeling that momentum as you hit the indoor season, knowing that you were able to succeed in the fall?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's you taste the victory and you want more of it. So that's definitely in our veins, and I really hope, and I'm assuming it is, and everybody else's too on the team. I mean, we're one big family, so when one succeeds, one part succeeds, the other part is going to succeed too.
Speaking of tasting victory, 4 times that you found yourself on top at meet's end. How special is that, considering you're 4 for 4 and going into your junior year?
It's really special. I think something that's most special about that is the fact that I've been able to share that with my teammates. And like, you know, you make a bar, and I don't just celebrate because I did it, but because I look over in the stands and I see everybody cheering for me, wanting me to succeed just as much as I want them to succeed. So it's really, like Plank said, it's our whole team coming together, and it's not just me celebrating my victory.
Yeah.
It's me celebrating the victory of all of us being able to come together and seeing all those people at nationals, and hopefully we can replicate that this year.
How incredible is it being able to work with your dad and having that relationship both on the track and off the track? And obviously he's been so influential in your success.
Yeah, I mean, I could talk about that for about 3 hours, but I'll try to shorten it. You know, it's something really special that a lot of people don't really get the advantage of having. And there's a lot of times where things can go really wrong because of it, because I might not listen to him, or I might think that I know what I'm talking about. But in all reality, the times when I'm jumping my best and the times whenever I'm competing better than I ever have is whenever I'm listening to everything that he has to say and really trusting in the process that he has laid out in front of me. And you know, he's laid the groundwork for all of the vaulters and told them exactly what they need to do. And if they follow this, they'll be successful. And, you know, if I each day can follow what he tells me to do, I know that that'll be successful no matter what, if I jump 19 feet or if I jump 17 feet. If I'm doing what he says, then I know that that'll be a successful meet.
Now, speaking of great coaches, you obviously get to work with Al Carius day in and day out. How much, and I know as a senior you've had a lot of Al talk.
Yeah.
Does it still resonate with you, just, you know, after 4 years, that awesome message of run for fun and personal bests?
I mean, absolutely. It's something that I carry on to. I mean, my work that I do there in downtown Naperville, it's what you know, when people interview me, I've had all these interviews in the past few months, you know, going off with that. You use that knowledge that you gain from him, and it really is something special. And people look for those qualities, you know, outside of the race, outside of the track meets and all that stuff. So it really does. It sits with you for a long time. And we just met with some of the guys from the very first team that Al ever coached. There were 6 guys on that team, and 4 of them came back to meet with Al and have lunch with him and everything. And they talked to us, and it's the same message he's been preaching for 51 years that we get to hear every day. And I think that really is incredibly special, that we get to have just a piece of history every time we're at practice.
And you just got to make history too.
Yeah, that too.
Now you guys are going to be hosting nationals, and I can imagine this is going to be a fun experiment for you guys as well. Luke, you just set the facility record inside Res Rec. Is it going to be nice being able to vault in the place you call home?
Yeah, you know, I was planning on earlier or later in the season around Chicagoland traveling to a different meet. But then earlier this year, I was like, you know what, Nationals is here. ixnay that, and I'm going to train and vault on this facility because this is the national facility. I want to have as many reps as I possibly can on this facility, and really, it's going to be weird. Me and Plank were talking about it earlier. It's going to be really weird. It's going to be like we're entering into practice because we're going to be walking into the facility we train in every day. The same record board's going to be there, the same pole vault stuff, the same track, the same everything. So it's going to be, it's going to be something that's really cool, though, because we won't have to think about it as anything different than in practice.
Yeah.
We'll be able to enter in like we're going to practice, being coached by the same coaches. We have the same teammates around us. All of our friends will be up in the stands.
Yep.
And, it's going to be something really special that I'm really happy I get to take part in.
Place is going to get loud, I can tell you that. I was there for the last one, and, with the fans and the upper deck and the bleacher set, it's a lot of fun. I'm sure you guys are going to enjoy it, especially long distance. I know you have to pace yourself, but we've talked about this in the past. When guys are yelling NCC, that's got to give you a boost.
Yeah, definitely, absolutely. It's again, that's something historical too, and being on either side of that is incredibly energizing, and it will, especially in that arena, it's gonna get real loud. And you've got, teams are the Wisconsin teams are definitely gonna bring their guys down. They're only a few hours away. Other central Midwestern teams are gonna bring their crews, and it's gonna be a battle for who can be the loudest and who can win too.
Congratulations on your past success, and good luck capturing some more. Thanks for stopping by, guys.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Coming up next, we have the Cardinal Corner. We'll be right back on the Cardinal Report.
This Cardinal Report segment is presented by Belgio's Catering.
Especially with athletics being a male-dominant area, just for the young ladies to understand that they can play an extraordinary role in athletics as a whole.
As the recipient of the 2017 Cleo Tanner Award, North Central alum Pristina Jones has a simple but powerful message to the women gathered around for National Girls and Women in Sports Day.
You too can be great, and if you put in all this hard work, there's no reason why you can't be great also.
First awarded in 2006, the Cleo Tanner Award recognizes the contributions of an individual or individuals who have positively influenced women athletics at North Central College. This year, it was 1999 graduate Pristina Jones accepting the honor. The long list of on-the-track accomplishments run pretty long. 3-time national champion, 11-time All-American. Sue Kane is now North Central's assistant athletic director, but in 1999, she was a freshman looking up to Jones, not to mention competing right alongside her for the national championship winning 4x400 relay team.
She is funny and she is confident and she cares, and that's what I love about her. I laughed a ton every single day at practice, but we worked really hard, right? We worked extraordinarily hard at practice, but we had a really great time doing it.
If you're always going to do right and be good people, then you'll always be a winner.
As a junior on the current NCC track and field team and running the same events Jones ran, Bethany Bachman absorbed the message from the Cleo Tanner Award winner.
We kind of specifically more see it in the sporting aspect today, but it's something that can just be applied in general to everything in life, through our academics and anything we decide to do with our futures and our jobs and everything. We don't have to be limited to certain opportunities or jobs. We can work hard and we can go and achieve a lot more than what we expect out of ourselves.
Putting the event together, many of the graduate assistant coaches peppered across North Central's 12 women's sports. That includes Marissa Clattis, who played basketball from 2011 to 2015 and has stayed on to coach.
It's not something you think about when participating in sports, especially at the collegiate level. I think a lot of times it's taken for granted that they have this opportunity, and if I could still play, I would.
To be able to embrace the opportunities that we have today, but moving forward and continuing to blaze that trail, right at the end of the day.
Complete with food and a brief video noting the advances the college has made in recent years, especially with the new additions of lacrosse, triathlon, and soon bowling, the day felt like a success for all involved, and that includes the keynote speaker.
Anytime I can try to inspire some student athletes to do better or want to do better, is definitely a good thing.
Well, that's all the time we have. Thanks to both track and field teams for coming out. We're looking forward to the national meet at North Central on March 10th and 11th. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Kevin Jackman on the Cardinal Report.